Good afternoon, everybody. It's an honor and pleasure to be here in the Leiden University, the oldest Dutch one. Actually, this is not my first meeting with the students of the university. If I'm not mistaken, last year there was a group of students. They visited our embassy, and we already have a chat. We talked about some topical issues, and I'm very glad to reiterate this experience now on the premises of the university. Well, maybe I will introduce myself. I'm ambassador of the Russian Federation to the Netherlands for nearly 4 years now. I'm career diplomat. My previous tours post were in some countries such as Senegal, the Gambia, Luxembourg, now the Netherlands. I'm ambassador for the 4th time in a row, ambassador to Senegal, the Gambia, to Luxembourg, then to the Kingdom of the Netherlands. And 20 years ago I was Russian General Consul to Marseille and especially Monaco. I was kind of ambassador with Monaco. And I'm proud to say that I served in the Principality. I'm referring to Monaco, Principality. Then Grand Duchy, Luxembourg. And now this is just continuous ascension. I'm in the kingdom. Principality, Grand Duchy, and now the height, the top of my diplomatic ascension, my appointment to the Kingdom of the Netherlands. So, like I said, this is a great pleasure, and I would be very, very happy to speak with you about relations between our countries, and by the same occasion, maybe discuss with you some topical issues of the international agenda. As we are speaking about historical relations between our countries, Russia and the Netherlands, according to archive records, trade contacts between the Russians and the Dutch existed already more than 1,000 years ago. The trade routes used by the Dutch merchants passed through vast plains along main Russian rivers. The beginning of regular contacts with the Netherlands dates back to 1547-1584 reign of Ivan the Terrible, when the Dutch first arrived in Arkhangelsk, northern city of Russia. They were visiting Russia to buy flax, fur and crop. The official relations between the Netherlands and Russia were established in the 17th century. In 1615, during the period of the Polish-Swedish intervention, the Dutch offered Russia mediation in reconciliation with Sweden, and the Dutch mission, having arrived in Novgorod, also northern city of Russia, facilitated the conclusion of the so-called Stolbovo Peace Treaty. The Dutch ambassador was then awarded a gold medal for his services. The inscription of the medal by the Russians, read, "Unity empowers the weak, disputes weaken the great." Without any doubt, you are aware of such a historical fact that the young Tsar, Peter the Great of the Romanov dynasty, incognito with documents in the name of non-commissioned officer Pyotr Mikhailov, visited in 1696 the Netherlands with the Great Russian Embassy, where he studied carpentry for 3 months. Permanent diplomatic mission was established in the Netherlands in 1699. It was headed by Andrei Matveyev, ambassador extraordinary and plenipotentiary. Later on, the royal courts, the Russian one and the imperial court the royal court of the Netherlands became related. Anna Pavlovna Romanova, daughter of Tsar Paul I, married in 1816 the Dutch royal prince Willem of Orange, who later became King William II of the Netherlands, and gave birth to 5 children. A town, a street in The Hague are named after Anna Pavlovna. The year of 1813 became an important milestone in the development of relations between our countries, when Russia and the Netherlands fought side by side against Napoleon intervention. Such, let's say, brotherhood in arms served as a basis for the creation of the modern state, the Kingdom of the Netherlands, the anniversary of which was celebrated in 2015. In the 19th century, relations between Russia and the Netherlands were very friendly. The states, Russia and the Netherlands, signed altogether 8 conventions, treaties, and other legal acts. In 1899, at the initiative of Tsar Nicholas II, the first Hague Conference was held in The Hague. It attracted representatives of more than 60 countries. The Russian delegate, Baron Stahl, presided over the conference, and the Dutch foreign minister, Monsieur de Beaufort, was an honorary chairman. The beginning of the 20th century was characterized by the deterioration of the Russian-Dutch bilateral relations, including the disruption of diplomatic relations after the Bolshevik Revolution of 1917, and especially the execution of the imperial family. As late as in 1942, our relations were happily restored, but with the new state, the Soviet Union, because our countries shared a common goal, the victory over Nazi Germany. In 1964, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Netherlands, Joseph Luns, paid the very first official visit to Moscow. And in 1972, Andrei Gromyko, then Soviet Minister of Foreign Affairs, paid his first visit to the Netherlands. During this visit, a number of bilateral agreements were signed. The following year, Royal Princess Beatrix and her husband, Prince Klaus von Arnsberg, visited the USSR, and the Dutch radio daily reported in the news how the royal couple traveled around the Soviet Union. In the second half of the 1980s, our relations experienced, let me say, heyday prosperity, mostly due to the period of perestroika and glasnost. Political contacts expanded. The Netherlands became one of the largest trade and economic partners of Russia. In order to consolidate the successes in the development of bilateral relations, the governments of our countries decided to declare 2013 the year of Russia in the Netherlands and the Netherlands in Russia. This year, 2013, became, should I say, a festival of friendship between the two peoples, a certain business inventory of Russian-Dutch relations with an eye to their development in the future. It was estimated that over 600 events, various events, took place within the framework of the program of these crossing years, many of which laid a solid groundwork for the development of bilateral cooperation in many areas. According to the Dutch side, several hundred events took place outside the framework of this program at the grassroots initiative. Unfortunately, the events of 2014 in Ukraine led to the deterioration of our bilateral relations and the catastrophe of the MH17 flight that Russia was accused of undermined successes of the past. In spite of the complex political background, the present business relations between Russia and the Netherlands remain at higher level. I would like to draw your attention to the regular meetings between Russian authorities and executive offices of such prominent Dutch companies as Shell, Unilever and Philips. The Netherlands, along with Germany and China, are traditionally one of the three leading trade partners of the Russian Federation. Our country exports to the Netherlands mineral raw materials, fuel, metals and metal products, machinery and equipment, chemical products, food products and agricultural raw materials. In 2018, former ambassador of the Netherlands to Russia, René Jonsbosch, arrived to the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum 2018, as well as to the international exhibition Flower Expo and the agricultural exhibition The Golden Autumn. She also led the Dutch agricultural mission to Tatarstan. At the beginning of last year, Dutch Foreign Minister Stef Blok visited the Russian Federation, and in the second half of the year, the delegation of the first chamber of the General States, headed by Chairman Broker Snow, met in Moscow the Chairman of the Russian Senate, Valentina Matvienko, and the Chairman of the State Duma, Vyacheslav Volodin. In the field of education, there are stable contacts between Leiden University and the Kirov's Military Medical Academy and other Russian universities. In 2018, a memorandum of understanding in the field of healthcare, science and culture between the medical faculty of Leiden University and the Military Medical Academy came into force. More than 40 students of Moscow State University visit Leiden annually for educational exchange in biomedicine. For the past 14 years, a joint Dutch-Russian PhD program has been operating successfully. Professor of Eastern European Law at Leiden University, Ferdinand Verbrugge, was awarded the insignia for interaction of the Russian Foreign Ministry. Let me just say a couple of words in relation with the forthcoming anniversary. Next year, on May the 9th, we will celebrate the 75th anniversary of the great victory over Nazi Germany in World War II. Without any exaggeration, this is a historical milestone, an event of a universal or even planetary scale that led to a change in the world order. And no matter how many years have passed since the triumph of May the 9th, 1945, all the humanity will always remember and honor the winners who gave us freedom from the brown plague of the 20th century. Of course, it is very important for us that in the Netherlands there are people who remember the heroism and the courage of the Red Army and carefully preserve the graves of Soviet soldiers. Russia is sincerely grateful to you for this. With a special feeling of gratitude, we annually lay wreaths at the Soviet Field of Glory in Leiden. According to the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation, irretrievable military losses during World War II were about 12 million people. Total human losses of the USSR, including military personnel and civilians, were, just think about this, 26.6 million people. Material losses of the Soviet Union amounted to about 30% of all its national wealth. Whereas the total losses of England and the United States of the Western Front were just about 230,000 people. By the way, let's not make mistake about who bore the main burden of the fighting against Nazi Germany. Just think about this. There were 107 understaffed German divisions on the western line, on the Western Front. There were 167 very well equipped divisions on the Eastern Front. We very much appreciate the commitment to preserve the truth about the war, World War II, and oppose what nowadays is called deliberate distortion of history. This is of particular importance now when some Eastern European states, to our great regret, demolish monuments to Soviet soldiers who liberated them from Nazism. This can be seen especially in Poland, but also in Czechia. At the same time, executioners and murderers guilty of massacres are declared national heroes. This is what's happening in some Baltic states. The very same people who massacred prisoners and especially Jews living in the Soviet Union, they are just declared and honored as national heroes in some Baltic states. Let me tell you one important thing. You may all have heard about Holocaust. Holocaust in your mind is about extermination of Jewish population, of Jews in the gas chambers in various concentration camp by the Nazis. But beside this, apart this, there was also the phenomenon which is known as the Holocaust by bullets. And the Holocaust by bullets is about the extermination of the Jews, of the population, Soviet population of Jewish origin, living in the western regions of then Soviet Union and especially in Baltic countries. So it's terrible tragedy also. People, Jews were massacred, and especially by the auxiliaries of SS formations, sometimes people from Baltic republics, from some other Russian republic, and these people are now honored as national heroes. This is quite disgraceful, despicable. And this lack of memory is very dangerous. It undermines major principles of international relations. Let me remind you that these principles were established right after World War II. The manipulations aim at reshaping the world, substituting international law under far-fetched pretexts that make it possible to promote various illegitimate unilateral decisions to justify any acts, including the most destructive ones. All this creates conditions for tensions, conflicts, and ultimately leads to instability in the whole world. Strong sovereign states, a certain national interest in global affairs, do not contradict the model of globalization or an open society. Nevertheless, the people's identity and awareness of their roots remain the foundation, the very foundation of statehood, even though we are commonly persuaded of the contrary. Multipolar world is the only rational option for today, and it can only exist if coupled with respect for national interest and non-interference in domestic affairs. Equal and mutually beneficial relations can help us meet common challenges that threaten all of us and can yield sustainable, comprehensive and lasting progress for our states. Against such background, many in Europe openly admit that the European Union incurs significant diplomatic and economic costs for demonstrating the outward unity in Russia-related issues. Nonetheless, Russia is interested in regular partnership with the EU. We want to exist in stable, economically successful, predictable and responsible neighborhood. I would like you to think over the following fact. Before being locked in the clinch, the volume of the Russian-EU trade amounted to nearly 407 billion euros. And then it was cut just in half. We have to calculate who lost most. We want to determine the course of our economies ourselves, as well as of the trade relations with Europe, including the crucial issues relating to fuel demand. Let me emphasize again, the Russian Federation is open to equal and mutually respectful dialogue with the European Union, but only on the basis of the aforementioned principles and only with understanding that this is the only way to build a mutually advantageous, respectful cooperation. Thank you for your attention.